All right, Bougie Boss Moms, let me go ahead and spill some tea. Earlier, you have seen me talk about GitHub Copilot. You also heard me talk about Cloud Code and Continuum and different types of IDEs and different types of tools out there that will help you run your code and build fully blown applications. Of course, Cloud Code, as you guys know, it costs a lot of money. It's very expensive, and the only way to break through is to spend like $200 a month versus spending versus using something like OpenDevin, which is something that I showed previously, that allows you to run your own open source engine and your own large language model, and allows you to literally create applications on cruise control, where you just kind of leave your computer and it starts running things. So what I like to use different engines and different large language models. Now, you probably heard that Anthropic got a lot of hype over the past couple of weeks and whatnot, a couple of months, yeah, because of how fast it can code, but it just costs so much money for you to build anything meaningful. So I wanted to show you something else, which is called Gemini CLI. So Gemini CLI is something that you could use right now, guys. It's just like Cloud Code, but it's cheaper. And the reason why it's cheaper is because Google figured, hey, why are we gonna try to nickel and dime you? Instead, we're just gonna give you um, Google Gemini CLI, and they did. And I wanted to show it to you over here. So we're gonna quickly install this, and by the end of this video, you're gonna quickly see its value. So right now, I'm just kind of typing that in, and literally this is command for installing it. And all you gotta do, guys, is install it and literally run it on your terminal. You could run it in Cursor, or you could run it literally in VS Code the way I'm doing it now. But you run it like this, CLI, and of course, CLI like this. And there we go. Do you want to install one of those? So did you mean one of those npm install a package? Npm install, there's like 3 letters. I made a typo, but as you can see, it's really basic command. So I'm just gonna call it, I'm gonna get out of here and I'm installing it on Linux. So I'm gonna just call it Gemini, and I'm just gonna literally create a folder, and that's where I'm gonna put that in. And you could install Linux like this easily on your computer, Ubuntu from Microsoft Store, and hit the ground running and have everything working for you. So over here, I'm just gonna literally type that in like this and paste it. And there we go. Boom. So right now I'm just quickly installing Gemini CLI, and it's doing its thing. And sooner or later, what you're going to see, guys, is a package being installed. So it's added 431 packages in 10 seconds, and 120 packages looking for funding, etc. Run npm fund for details. So I'm going to go ahead and type Gemini. And as you can see, we have Gemini, which is cool. Like you select whatever kind of color you want to include, GitHub. And over here, you log in with Gemini, Google with Gemini API key or Vertex. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna quickly go to Google Studio. So I'm heading out to Google Studio. Google Studio. I'm quickly gonna go here. And of course, this is where you get the API key. So this is where literally you hit the create API key button.
this one down below. You take that, you go on your terminal, you just paste that in, you hit enter, Gemini CLI installs. Then all you have to do once you install it is type in Gemini, hit enter, and Gemini is good to go. You're ready to cook. This is what you get. You get the screen right here with Gemini. Now we're ready to build some cool things. So here's what we're going to do. Let's start building out an app and let's see how well this performs. I'm going to show you exactly how to interact with Gemini CLI. You can get the most out of this. So there is no planning with Gemini CLI. That's a downside here. Claude Code has that. In Claude
So you could also log in, guys, with your Google account if you don't want to log in with your actual CLI key, API key. But you just select the Google account option and it will get you to this page. So once you sign in, you could literally ask all sorts of questions, guys.
Code, you just hit Shift Tab and you go into plan mode where you just go back and forth with the model to build out a plan for your app. That doesn't exist here. So if we want to plan here, what we're going to want to do is basically just say, hey, don't code, build us a plan first, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. So here's the initial prompt I'm going to use, and I'll put this down below as well. Let's do some planning, right? So I'm making sure it knows that first. Let's do some planning. I don't want you to write any code. Let's do some planning. I want you to build an AI habit tracking app. I entered a few sentences about myself that an AI generates daily habits I should perform to better my life. I can then check off those habits and the app shows a visualization of my habits in my streaks. I want to build this with Next.js. So a few things we're doing here. We're telling you we want to do planning. We're describing the app we want to build. So in this video, we're going to build an AI habit tracking app where it generates habits for us to perform. I want to get this a little bit more complex, right? So that we can see just how powerful this is and how much it's built out. And I'm also saying I want to build this with JS, one of the most popular web frameworks out there for building engines. I'm also going to say do not write anything, just so it knows we're in planning mode. So I'm going to hit enter. Let's see how this.
All right, guys, so this is the prompt I went ahead and I quickly typed in. Let's do some planning. I want to build an AI habit tracking app. I enter a few sentences about myself, then AI generates daily habits I should perform to better my talent agency and improve my thread stacking skills. I can check off those thread stacking habits, and the app shows visualization of my habits and my streaks. I want to build this with Next.js. And then I hit enter. So it's doing some planning, considering app improvement, app architecture, mapping the app architecture. It's doing everything to help me stay on track, guys, and building the whole thing right in front of you guys. So, of course, framework, all of this stuff talking about over here, you'll be greeted with a simple form to enter your personal goals. Upon submission, personalized list of daily habits will appear. You can check off habits throughout the day. A dedicated dashboard will visualize your streaks and historical progress. I will start by scaffolding in Next.js application, creating the core UI components and setting up the API route for AI habit generation. Should I proceed with this plan? And notice it says user experience. This application will have a minimalist and motivating design. The user flow will be straightforward. Core feature, AI-powered habit generation. You'll provide few sentences about your goals, improving your talent agency, and the AI will generate list of specific actionable daily habits for you. A simple, intuitive interface to check off your habits each day, progress, visualization. The app will display all of this. Framework, Next.js, React for both front-end and back-end, Tailwind CS for modern, clean, and responsive user interface. AI will use all this and that. I will build full stack web application using Next.js that allows you to generate, track personalized daily habits. So that's basically what it came back with.
Also say I want to build this with Next.js, one of the most popular web frameworks out there for building apps. I'm also going to say do not write any code, just so it knows we're in planning mode. So I'm going to hit enter. Let's see how this performs. So it's deconstructing my query so Gemini is going in, understand first step. Here's a high level plan. All right, let's see the plan. Core concept and visualization. The application will serve as we're going to use, but that's fine. We'll use Postgres. That's cool. And visualizations. Okay, so we're going to have some charting visualization. It's going to have an entire onboarding, habit tracking generation, daily habit dashboard. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good plan, and it has an entire roadmap for us as well. So it's going to do it in 4 phases. Now, if you want to go back in here and edit this plan, you can do that. So you can just say, hey, I don't like this. Change
6 hours in and not a single ad. Check it out. All right, we just take out those 5 baddies real quick and we can all go home. Enjoy a nice hot.
this. You can use this time to make sure the plan is perfect. I actually really, really like this plan. This is a very well thought out, detailed plan. Again, Gemini 2.5 runs a very good model. So let's hit enter this. I can't believe all this is free. They're just giving me all this free. Shout out Google. Thanks for just giving stuff away for free. Pretty amazing. Here's where the first test is okay, how much can it actually start building out? One of my biggest issues with Gemini 2.5 Pro and why I stuck with Claude is it for me, it had a lot of issues falling through where it would try to write files and then it would mess up and not actually do that. But let's see how good it is at actually using tools and building out files and all that.
Okay, so it looks like it came up with a very good plan. If you wanted to modify the plan, you could say, I don't like the plan, go ahead and modify it. I don't like the plan, go ahead and modify it, and you're good to go. But I think in my particular case, it's somewhat okay. It could be better to include like phases and whatnot, but I think this is good. And of course, the difference between Claude code is the fact that in Gemini is before I would be using Gemini and it would just kind of mess up the commands and it wouldn't really be as good as Cloud Code. So, but now let's see if this is any different. So, yes. So as you can see, it's proceeding with the plan. It's considering the first plan. So it's talking about, I will start by creating a Next.js application, AI habit tracker in the current directory. This command will set up the project with Tailwind for styling required in the plan. Yes, allow once. And let's see. as you can see, it's doing everything inside of this containerized, inside of this Linux environment. So now it says, I will select no, using TurboPack to proceed with the standard Next.js setup. So, okay, I'm just gonna say, okay, no command not found. I apologize. It seems like I made a mistake. The previous step in the command was not successful. The create next step was waiting for input, and my attempt to provide it failed. I will try to create Next.js application again, this time using flags. Okay, it's from asking. I'll search for the correct flags to use. I will try to search to find the correct non-interactive flags for the create app command. So it looks like it's scoping the CLI arguments. Looks like it's initializing project. So now it's saying allow execution. Yes. Would you like the turbo pack for next dev? I'm just going to say yes. Flags that may be causing issue, I will also add the yes flag to attempt to automatically answer all the prompts. So notice how intelligent it is. It just automatically decided to add yes to all of them. So this way I don't have to do this. And now it says success, created AI habit tracker. And now I will start building the core components of the application. I'll begin by modifying the main page to create the user interface. First, I'll examine the files in a new project directory. I see the project structure. So it's analyzing all of those files, guys, inside of the folder. Okay, the main application logic is with source app directory. I'll check the content. Okay, identify the main page file. I will now read the content of this file. Okay, I have the content of the page now. We'll replace the existing content with the basic structure. So I'm gonna just say yes, allow once. So it's literally, guys, doing everything, initializing development. I apologize for the error, parameter run shell. I'm gonna say yes. And looks like it's picking up TurboPack. It's setting it up, the networking component, guys, for Next.js, and literally making the whole thing available, guys. So this is pretty cool because if you run out of credits, guys, let's say you started out with Claude, created a very good plan, then you could use your 1,000 requests per day from Gemini to continue working on whatever the project that you're trying to do, and use OpenDevin with DeepSeek to minimize costs exponentially. That's what I would do, guys, if I was you. Combine, let's say if you wanted to have like an employee working for you, then OpenDevin would truly impress the heck out of me, because OpenDevin just, I mean, you could use your own models like DeepSeek, which is a lot cheaper. But if this is free, Gemini, and uses powerful model, you could easily use like up to 1,000 requests and then have Gemini do the rest. Now with Cursor, you could spin up all of those other agents that kind of do things and have greater kind of level of granularity. You could also do this in VS Code over here. But Cursor has some other bells and whistles, guys, that are very good in terms of coding. And of course, if you truly want to take to the fullest extent, you could use Cursor in combination with Cloud Code. But right now it looks like it's initializing, and not just Cloud Code, but Cloud Code is expensive, guys, but using it in a Gemini CLI and Cloud Code interchangeably based on how much budget you have, how much money you want to save. So I would do it this way. And definitely my go-to would be OpenDevin. That would be my go-to kind of a place to always work with. It works. It's open source and saves money. But this one will run out of 1,000 requests. And from what I can tell, each request is literally right now it's just initializing development. Each request, like what you see over here, is considered like each time it sends a request, it's a one request, like a green check. From what I think, that's what it means. So if you have 1,000 of them, maybe they will last, I don't know, like a couple of hours or so of coding, maybe less. So we'll see.
Okay, so it looks like it has the same kind of UI as Claude Code Flow, where I can just have it go in YOLO mode. I'm gonna have it go in YOLO mode, where it just build out everything for me, and we'll see how well it works. So it's installing all the technology, it's doing all the project setup, so it's determining what the file structure should be, what technology should install. It's going through all that here. All right, looks like it built out the Next.js app, so it has the kind of boilerplate code ready to go. So far, honestly, does feel a little bit faster than Claude Code. No issues with falling tools just yet either. All right, looks like the app finished building this phase one. So let's see what phase one of this looks like here. All right, so we have a pretty general UI. Tell us about yourself. Generate habits. This probably is not going to work because I didn't enter in any sort of APIs or anything. Although I wonder if they could automatically just implement Gemini API into this or something like that. And then they have some boilerplate to-dos. Can't even check it off. Okay, that's solid. Listen, just phase one, we're building out the UI. The UI is kind of ugly. We can make it better. Let me show you how to communicate with Gemini CLI so we can build and improve our apps that we're building here. Okay, so I just did this. I asked Gemini CLI what phase two is, right? We had that really long plan. Now I'm just going back, hey, what's phase two? Let's see what it built out. What's different about Gemini CLI from, like, say, Cursor, for instance, is when you're working with Cursor, it's very much like an engineering intern. You have to guide it, handhold it, show it what to do. But with Claude Code, with Gemini CLI, what makes it really, really amazing, it's like a senior developer. It's guiding you. I'm just having it guide me. I'm just saying, hey, continue to the next thing, continue to the next thing. You can trust it to build out on its own. So I'm just saying, okay, what's phase two? It's telling me it's going to build out the API routes so I can communicate with the AI to implement AI functionality. It's going to build out AI prompts so that it can generate the habits for us, and it's going to connect the front end to the back end and say, okay, let's move on to phase two. All I'm saying is, hey,
you don't need a second job. You just need to learn how to talk to AI.
Let's be real. Most people over 40 use ChatGPT like it.
continue with your plan. That's how I'd recommend Gemini CLI is. You have it up front, build a really detailed plan, spend a good amount of time. Thing is, hey, continue with your plan. That's how I'd recommend working with Gemini CLI is. You have it up front, build a really detailed plan, spend a good amount of time here. And then once it has a really in-depth, detailed plan, you're going to save a lot of time after because you can just keep going, okay, continue, 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 because it had such a good plan. If you spend more time up front with these AI tools, you'll get a lot better results and save a lot more time on the back end, right? Because before, when we were using Cursor, it was like, okay, do this next, do this, and you're hand holding each step of the way. Now, because we did good planning with Gemini CLI, I can say continue, 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 continue. And just like that, as I was talking, this completes phase two. That took about, 20 seconds, and now phase two is done. Let's see what it did here. All right, let's see what we got for phase two here. All right, so now we have just the input, which is what we wanted, right? We didn't want fake data in there for the habits. So let me tell them a little bit about myself. I am a content creator that makes YouTube videos in vibe codes apps. All right, generate habits. Let's see if it works here. Okay, so it generates review daily. Okay, so it has template habits in there that show up. The AI is a little bit nicer. You can check things off now. Okay, I think for the next step, I would imagine the next step is going to be it uses AI. So let's see that. So again, as I keep telling you, you built your plan. Now you do it phase by phase. I just ask what phase three is, and now it's going to tell me what the phase three is in that plan, and then we're just going to okay it and have it. Phase three is about making the application persistent right now. If you generate habits, you press the page, it disappears. Habit three will introduce a database to save all the data. Okay, looks like it continued. The next step it did was update the API route to call OpenAI. Okay, so all we need to do is put in the OpenAI API key, which I'll show you how to do in a second. And then once it does that, it should be generating habits for us, which is pretty cool. So let's get the OpenAI API key. I'll show you how to do build this alongside me. So if you go to platform.openai.com and sign up there, really straightforward and simple to do. They click API key so you can create a new API key that we can use for the AI. And basically the way this works, it just allows you to communicate with ChatGPT so you can generate AI content, which is awesome. So I click create new secret key up here in the top right, and now we can name it Then click create. Copy. Just as a side note, you're gonna build and launch an app, do not put your API keys in anything but a .env file. So this app is Gemini CLI is having us put it in an actual like customer client facing code file, which is not good, but for the sake of this video, we'll do it. But if you ever to ship an app live, do not put it in like your code files, put it in a .env file, which makes it private. So it's having me put the API key here, which I'll do that now. All right, so I refresh the page. Let's see this. Let's see if this actually generates AI habits for us. I am a YouTuber who creates videos. All right, looks like it is doing some work here. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, let's see. It came up with some habits. Create a content calendar for your channel. Record and edit at least one video script per day. Engage with your audience by responding to comments and messages daily. Research and learn about new AI coding trends regularly. That's pretty amazing. It worked. The AI worked here. I've had basic zero issues. It worked very quickly. And I can check these off. Pretty amazing. Give it a few minutes, we will see a lot. Recap what we've learned so far and how to use Gemini CLI most effectively. So it is basically Claude Code. It performs very much like Claude Code. But what I see performs very well. It runs a little faster. The most amazing part of this though is the pricing model. You get 1,000 requests a day for free. To how to use Gemini CLI the most effectively. Well, you go in. It doesn't have a planning mode. So you want to say, let's build a plan, do not write code. Then you give it a very detailed description of what you're building. And then it's able to give you a great plan. So you go through the plan, make sure that looks good. Based on what I'm seeing, it is very, very smart. You give that the go ahead, and then all you do is just say, okay, build this one step at a time, right? One step at a time. So here's how you get the most out of Gemini CLI. Right, you go in, you have it filled out a plan for you first. So go say, hey, it doesn't have a plan mode. You say, let's make a plan. Let's not write any code. Here is my idea of what I want to build. You give it a detailed description of what you want to build. It then builds out your plan. You go through that plan step by step. Just make sure it looks good. If you need to edit anything, say, hey, change this. Once that looks good, you give the keys over to Gemini CLI. You say, hey, build this out for me, step by step by step. Each step you go in, you test it out, you make sure it works, then you give it the go ahead to move on to the next step. If you do this very carefully, and if you use a Copilot LLM, like for me, I'm going to probably use Claude as my Copilot here, and I'll go in and ask questions along the way around planning. You will probably have an amazing app at the end of it. I showed you what I did here. We built an AI-powered habit tracker, which you probably know this is going to be a real app for the next couple of months that a lot of people use as an AI-generated habit tracker. I'm really liking Gemini CLI. I'm going to be honest with you, I need to do a little bit more testing against Claude Code to see which one's smarter, which one's better. I'll probably do a deep dive comparison between the two that I'll put out in the next couple of days. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for that. But based on what I'm seeing, I think I could probably downgrade my Claude subscription from $200 a month to $100 a month, and then use all my free calls with Gemini as I start coding out with it. And then once I get through the 1,000 requests, if I get through that, then switch over to Claude Code. But if I don't get through those 1,000 requests, I probably can just turn on Claude Code completely. But we'll see after I do the full Gemini versus Claude comparison. By the way, if you want to get started with Claude Code, I have a tutorial video on that that's going viral right now. That's down below. Make sure to click on that. If you learned anything at all, leave a like. I will see you very soon with a deep dive Gemini CLI versus Claude Code video. See you then.
I graduated with a bachelor's in pastoral theology, and I worked the position here that I'm at as an assistant pastor.
All right, guys, let me extract it back channel. So the filtering. Understood? Perfect. At all. You won't be able to use it at all. So
Okay, guys, so it just finished coding and it actually froze up a little bit. I had to turn it off and then turn it back on and basically told it revisit the project and continue where you took off. And it did. It came back and did it completely on its own. And this is what it looks like. So enter a few sentences about yourself. Our AI will generate personalized daily habits to help you succeed. And then that's what it is. Hello. And of course, I didn't add any API keys. My habits are threads stacking, responding to bougie boss moms on threads, and building new innovative AI automations. And there we go. And look, it told me engage with 5 new creators in your niche, post a valuable thread stack three times a week, stack threads daily, reach out to 2 potential clients for your talent agency. So this is really cool, guys. And you could add new habit. So this is what actually pretty cool. And you could analyze your performance threads, etc. So this will keep you honest, guys. This will actually make it super easy. Wow, that is really good, guys. Now we could actually expand it and we could say, can you keep, we could literally say, can you, this looks good, Can you keep track of the habits in visualization graph over time? So this way I can come back and see the progress of 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 habits being completed. Be sure to add statistical data associated with it. So there we go, guys. And as you can see, this is what it does. First, I want to install a charting library. I'll use Recharts, a popular and reliable choice for React apps. Okay. There we go, guys. Now that I installed charting library, I'll create a new component called habitstats.tsx. So as you can see, guys, it's literally doing whatever it got to do. I'll start by updating the main page file to handle the new data structure. Now I need to update the habit component to handle the new data. And then it says I now integrated and updated the data. It's literally doing all sorts of things on the background. Slow response, the time detected, automatically switching from Gemini Pro to 2.5 for faster responses. To avoid, you can utilize the Gemini API key. You can switch authentication methods by typing off. I have successfully added visualization graph and statistical data to the habit tracking. You can navigate here and type npm run dev. Okay. npm run dev. Open browser. And wow. I'm doing thread stacking and creating AI automations and managing virtual assistants. Virtual assistants. Assistants. Okay. Total habits, completed habits, 1. Completion rate, 40%. New habit. Okay. Okay. So I could literally say your progress. I don't really see a bar chart. I could go back and say, I want to see a bar chart. I want to see a bar chart, populate. Currently, I'm not seeing it. Populate. Also, I want to be able to keep track for entire week and be able to look back in calendar what was completed for every day, and also be able to search through it, the tasks that were completed. So I could do that, and I would just go ahead and do update it, guys. Just installing calendar. As you can see, it's doing all of this thing, guys. Envisioning search functionality. Implementing task filtering. Okay. It looks like it's saying kill something, and let's killing the processes. Run npm dev. And let's see how that looks like. Open browser. And as you can see, we got progress bars. How crazy is that, guys? Is that insane or what? So let's go ahead and set that up. Okay. Completed habits on the 27th. Let's do, I do thread stacking. I need a thread stacking and managing virtual assistants. It will generate this. So I think it kind of lost. And AI automations. Or maybe it's still there, no? Okay. The graph looks pretty cool. Find 2 clients. Create new site. It looks like there's total of 6 habits, but I don't see where they are. So here's 6 of them. Completed clients and search. So search doesn't work. And generate habits doesn't seem to work. But the UI interface is here. It's just a matter of telling it how you want it to be. And there's, if I was to clear all that, let me see. Test 1. So you just need a little specifications, guys, for what is what. So I think you guys got the idea for that you could build this app. You just need to kind of literally go back and forth, but it's kind of crazy that you can literally just do this, guys. It's absolutely insane. Go ahead and give this a shot. And I think you're gonna be super excited, guys. You could build your own tracker. You could do so much more than just tracker. You could build your own interface from N8N and also and so much more. I'll see you guys next time.